Welcome to the Hustle Podcast. It's your host, Caleb Westra, here with my boy, CJ Hester, Logan Smith, John Hope, and special guests, the one and only Bima, Brendan McCormick. So, rundown of today's show, Heisman picks, biggest takeaway from week 6, top 3 best draft prospects, quick picks, in-depth picks, and then we'll possibly go into betting lines. Something we want to do more on this show. I know we give the spread sometimes, but we want to go more in depth to help you guys out. Since it's legal now in Indiana, why the hell not do it? So, Heisman picks. I'm going to go last. CJ.
Ooh, you want me to go first?
I want you to go first.
Because I got a guy who should get more talked about at Oklahoma State. Hubbard, the running back. Last week, it took him 6 games to pass 1,000 yards, which was close to breaking Barry Sanders' record at Oklahoma State, which took him 5. He has more rushing yards than Jonathan Taylor. And I just feel like nobody's talking about him down in the Big 12. Playing on an Oklahoma State team that's 4-2 right now. Could be hurting his chances at winning the Heisman or going to New York at the end of the season. But I think we have to give him credit what he's doing on that team and really look at him as one of the best players in college football.
Oh, yeah. What he's doing is nothing short than amazing. I think he's, like, total yards right now in the country. I think he leads, like, Jonathan Taylor by, like, 300 yards or something crazy like that. All right, John, you up?
Sure.
You ready for your Heisman?
Yeah, well, mine is still Jonathan Taylor, like I started the beginning of the year saying. You're right. He's only got 750 running yards so far this year. He's also catching balls out of the backfield. He got another 110 from there. And then just touchdown. He's a touchdown machine. He had 5 total touchdowns.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was awesome. So he's still my number one, even though running backs are going to be hard to come by for Heisman picks. We've only had
And like we were looking
year.
at 3 running backs in the past 20 years winning the Heisman.
And one of them
Technically
was
2
Reggie
if you want.
And
if
2
you
of them
want
were from Bama.
Yeah. If you want to count Reggie Bush or not.
It'd be bold to pick a running back for a Heisman, but if he continues going out like this with that many touchdowns, then he'll get it.
And Wisconsin wins the Big Ten, maybe makes the playoffs.
Yeah,
If they end up
for
with
sure.
one loss.
The more Wisconsin wins, the more talked about, and the hype was still built up.
Where Oklahoma State has
No,
a hard time.
yeah.
All right, for mine, I'm going with the guy who finished second last year. And if Kyler Murray wasn't in the league, would have probably won the Heisman. I'm going with Tua Tagovailoa. He's thrown for over 1,700 yards already, 23 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. His total QBR is 96.6, which is second in the country. What he's done is just tear up every defense he's played. I know he hasn't really played anybody, but I think the pace that he's on, it's going to keep going that way. And I think the voters should have gave it to him last year, but, you know, Kyler Murray, it was hard to...
Oklahoma
Yeah.
quarterbacks, man, which we could have another one. QBU.
Yeah.
It
QB.
is QBU.
Caleb?
What you got, Caleb?
I like your pick from the SEC, Logan. But, in the words of the great Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. There's another sheriff in town in the SEC, and his name is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow right now is on about number 4 on everybody's Heisman list if you look at kind of some of the experts picking. But, that being said, Burrow, 1,800 yards of total offense, 22 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Now, I put those interceptions there because when you're playing the talent Joe Burrow plays, you're eventually going to throw interceptions. You're playing the SEC, but 22 touchdowns. He has a 9.0 QBR, and he's a leader. He's ready. He's poised. He's a senior. We'll see what he does this year. Not to mention he's undefeated. And, oh yeah, where is he from? The hometown of Athens, Ohio. Let's list some other Heisman winners from the state of Ohio. Troy Smith,
Why?
Charles Woodson, Desmond Howard, Archie Griffin, Roger Staubach. All these great, great people born in the state of Ohio.
LeBron.
It's proven. LeBron
There's something.
would have won Heisman if he played football at Ohio State.
C.J. Hester. if he
C.J.
would've played
Hester,
college
if he
football.
would have played, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Damn
that being
Mississippi.
said, Joe Burrow, man, I like him. I know I had picked Texas over them, but he's proven to me that he has what it takes. And I think he's out to prove to the world that he should have been the starter at Ohio State over Dwayne Haskins.
And,
No.
and to see, like, and he gets to prove that in the next 4 weeks.
Oh, for sure.
3 out of the 4 weeks, they have Florida this week. Then they got LSU, you got Bama and Georgia coming up 3 out of the next 4 weeks.
For sure, for
So
sure.
he can prove
And
that.
they got quarterbacks there too. Jake
Yeah.
Fromm also. Not in the Heisman
Oh.
pick,
But
but just a
great.
good looking NFL.
Yeah.
grade.
And what about Justin Fields, man? Like,
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. All those quarterbacks have what it
Well,
takes.
well.
Trevor, obviously, we always talk about Trevor, but
I think this might be the first year in a few years where
It's
it's
gonna be a
like
toss-up.
there's about 5 legit Heisman contenders
And maybe-
after September. Usually it's like we have one guy where we name the Heisman after September, which never works out, whether it's Geno Smith from
Yeah.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Who else have been some? Who was last year? Who
It was
was last year?
Well,
Everybody
let's
was
talk about
on.
like Christian McCaffrey and
Yeah,
you know,
he-
like guys that should have maybe won, but had maybe one bad game in the season.
right.
I mean, McCaffrey showing out today, 2 80-yard touchdowns.
Dwayne
we don't talk about the
Haskins.
NFL. We don't do that here.
Okay.
So, anyways, biggest takeaways from Week 6. What are you guys thinking? I want to talk about the Florida Gators. I said last week on our pick that that is something that, and you can talk
No,
with me
I
on
don't
that. Let's
wanna.
agree. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. You talk. What about Florida? And I'll
You know
agree
what?
with you. I'll let you go.
We were just just ruining them last week talking about Florida because they were the worst top 10 team I've ever seen play when I was watching that Tennessee game. But they looked pretty
you
well
look better than
poised.
Georgia did in the first half.
They look like an
pretty poised.
undefeated team, honestly.
Yes.
They did. They actually looked like they deserved it. They're put at 7 now, maybe feeling like a top 5 team.
That defense impressed
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Not, the offense, they had some miscues. They didn't look horrible. They were not horrible. But takeaways, defense stepped up and saved
Yeah.
the game for them.
Mhm.
And
For
that's
sure.
what a defense does.
Right.
We've heard it before. Our grandparents have said it. Defense wins championships.
They don't.
Florida, I'm not sold on them yet, but that helped me out with my picks.
Well, without their number 1 guy at quarterback, Felipe Franks.
but they look better without
But-
Felipe.
but
I've
the
never
number-
really believed in
Felipe
Felipe.
shit.
But the number one,
Kevin Trask isn't that good either. He's under a 30 QBR right now.
the reason why I think Florida won this game was because of their head coach Dan Mullen. I think he called up a decent offensive game plan that wasn't going to get them beat.
He outcoached Malzahn.
Yeah, he definitely outcoached them.
So,
but
so
and
is
we've
Malzahn in trouble?
no.
Because he
he
beat
could.
Oregon.
Because
and
you
he's
know
still
what?
in the
True
race.
I have-
freshman
Yeah.
quarterback.
I have a crazy feeling that Auburn might
Might
beat
beat
Alabama at the end
Because
of the
they
season.
got to get that fired. This might
Yeah.
feel the
That-
field.
I-
But the only way he does that is if
Another
Joey Gatewood starts. I don't
Think
think
Gatewood
I don't
comes
think
in
Bo
next
Nix can
week
do it.
or in a few weeks. Because that game's
I
what,
don't
second to
know.
last week?
You need a running
Last
quarterback.
actually, it's last week
Iron
of the
Bowl
season.
since last week.
It's always a rivalry when
Yeah.
Ohio State plays Michigan, so it's weekend after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's that last weekend.
Question. Does Florida and Auburn play again?
Possibly.
No.
Possibly.
No.
Nah,
Nope.
they're
Nope.
not on the top
Yeah.
2
Nope.
of the SEC.
Nope. Okay.
No, but all it
They're
takes is
cool
1
ahead
or
of
2
them.
losses on the other way for
Nah.
somebody to be upset.
Okay.
Nah.
I'm just asking.
Like Tennessee to beat
What a
somebody.
stupid question
I
you
was
brought
just
to the
asking.
table.
I
I'm
was
just
just
kidding.
What about
All right.
you guys? What do you think?
Okay,
the
my
big
biggest
takeaways?
takeaway was Ohio State's win over Michigan State. Justin Field
Big cover.
kind of looked a little less superhuman than he's been in the
Yes.
last few weeks, just because he's finally faced a decent defense. But he still played good. He still
he
made
played-
plays for them to cover the spread. J.K. Dobbins, impressed with him
I'm
once
always
again.
impressed with
What did he
him,
run for, like
but-
174?
Yeah, but what my thing is they didn't have to just rely on him.
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
Fields played enough now. He finally showed that it's not just J.K. Dobbins, that they have weapons on all calibers. I mean, Vector looked good. Their defense looked pretty decent. Michigan State started out strong, but like you said, I agree with you. J.K. Dobbins, man. Why don't we have him in the Heisman race?
Why he's not getting talked about?
Yeah.
Why not?
He's
That's
getting
disrespectful.
looked at because of
Because he's gonna run over.
because
and I'm
of,
saying this
Justin
now.
Fields.
He's gonna run over Michigan.
Well, I've said that since day one.
Because anytime Ohio State has a good quarterback, sorry to bring back to Michigan.
We're
anytime
gonna skip CJ because I think he's got something
He's
to
gonna
say
talk
about
about
Michigan.
Harbaugh,
So
Harbaugh.
You know my biggest takeaway. It's not necessarily Harbaugh. Don Brown.
That defense, boy.
The defense is back and going.
okay, but was it your guys'
we
defense or Iowa's offense that beat themselves?
No, I
Or is it a little bit of
both?
both? Is it
But
meet in
that
the middle?
last drive really was offense that beat themselves. But the whole game, you talking about 3 interceptions,
One fumble.
1 fumble,
8
and
sacks.
8 sacks. That defense held them to to +1 rushing yards the whole game, and their running back was getting
Hey,
decent
No,
coverage.
I'll give you that because the week before, Notre Dame put up 8.5
Yeah.
sacks, only gave up 4 yards to Virginia. So, and I guess Virginia's kind of like an Iowa team. So I guess it
But
is kind of
Virginia
like
should
a
win
good.
this week over Miami.
Well, I'm just saying it's kind of like you guys kind of had a win like we had last week, where our defense really stepped
just
up
fought
against.
it
And
out.
let's not forget this Hawkeye team was 5-0. 13 ranked in the country, and I'm not trying to take it's the best win, but I was talking to CJ. I was pretty pissed at first, and then we were like, look, let's settle down. We won. Defense did their job. Now offense, yes, they need to improve. So what does now you say?
Yeah,
like
you
Don
guys
Brown,
need a different
Don Brown,
quarterback.
do you think Joe Milton has to start because McCaffrey's hurt? We can't go to McCaffrey.
You can't go with Joe Miller either.
So do you,
Not saying that Joe
but what
doesn't
has
have
to happen?
talent.
Wait,
Does-
no,
does the play
I heard
calling
something
win?
interesting, and I want to hear it from a Michigan fan if this is what they think. So there was an analyst on Fox Sports saying that when Shea Patterson gets hit in the mouth, he tends to kind of cuddle up and hide.
He does.
And
I
doesn't
agree with that.
doesn't hit a
After
team
he
right
threw
back.
That
And
interception and was getting hit because he got sacked twice on that.
he doesn't have a fiery passion to win.
And
He
that's
really
why,
doesn't.
And that's why I don't know. CJ's gonna disagree.
I know,
with
no.
me. I know this, but what do you think? Because when he started throwing gingerly, once he threw that pick, if he would have thrown it with force and hit him in the front, if he would have hit him in the flat
Instead of the out.
and
yep.
instead of the out and out, I'm sorry,
That's not a
people
pick.
mess up, heroes mess up. They hit him in the flat, then he would have been
Right.
good. But
Yeah.
he tried to lob it over the defender, and I want some good freaking defenders. Their DBs look good.
The DBs
They
are-
shut us down all game. And
Iowa
they
always has a good defense.
Yeah, no,
But I
yeah.
think as the fire passion talking about Shane Patterson, and I totally agree with you. He does not show that this year.
Yeah.
But I'm saying he has shown that in the past.
Right,
If you
yeah,
remember in
okay,
the
yeah.
Michigan State game last year,
Or even at Ole Miss, he's shown it.
when he was playing Michigan State last year, he threw a pick, they fumbled, he ran to the sideline, ran to Don Brown and said, give me the effing ball back so we can score.
Well,
So
I
then,
think
what
this
do you
is the
think
thing.
What do you think his problem is this year?
I think
the
now
team.
that Josh,
do you think it's a team?
I think he needs to trust Josh Gaddis more.
Yes.
And I think Josh Gaddis being on the sideline has helped, but it's not going to be fixed in 1 week.
Yeah. No,
Now, we're
right.
going to see at Illinois, and then we go to Penn State. So hopefully by Notre Dame, he has more confidence. I'm not
Right.
saying he's going to be ready to play you guys.
I think
but-
McCaffrey will need to play against us.
Oh,
Because if Shea
but
Patterson
McCaffrey's
fumbles the ball
healthy, man,
once,
that concussion was.
yeah, it was a bad hit.
ugly.
Okay,
It was just
That
that,
was
that
targeted.
Steelers.
That one was
Kyle
targeted.
Rudolph. Anyways,
we're
keep going.
gonna do a new segment here.
Uh,
Gonna talk about draft picks.
draft picks.
Yeah, draft picks.
Prospects.
What do you guys
Draft
think
prospects. Yeah, draft
Top
prospects.
3, John, what you got?
Top 3. At quarterback, I got a shocker. I don't have Tua like most people think. I've got Jake Fromm.
Hey.
Looking like the most NFL-ready quarterback I've seen play so far. That win over Notre Dame, he was putting it in tight windows on outside shoulder throws.
And-
it looked really good.
So these aren't necessarily what you have them in order. It's just
No,
these are
it's-
just your top 3
These are
guys
just
of
my
your
favorite
delegate.
guys,
Yeah,
and they're all offensive players. Jonathan Taylor again could be dynamic for
Yeah.
the backfield of any team.
he kind of reminds me of like a Saquon Barkley.
He
almost.
does.
Yeah.
Saquon almost
Running
Le'Veon,
back
not
like
as crafty.
Saquon.
Yeah.
Not as much
Like, he can
receiving,
catch.
but if he can turns up the receiving in the NFL, he definitely has that potential.
And Jerry Jeudy just for speed, size, athleticism, and he just catches the ball too. He's a flat out baller.
For sure. Do you want me to go up
Go
next?
ahead.
All right. My number 1 guy coming off the board, I think it should be Chase Young. Just his physical stature, man. He is NFL ready, I think, right now. He's got 8.5 sacks on the year. We'll see when he plays better O-lines down the road, like the Penn States and the Michigans. And the Wisconsin's coming up. But as of right now, I think he's a NFL-ready type of defensive end. Number 2, I got Tua Tagovailoa. I think somebody's going to need a quarterback early.
Yeah,
and, he's going to come.
the Dolphins.
Dolphins for
Dolphins,
sure.
yeah. And then after that, I got Jeff Okudah from Ohio State. So I've got 2 guys off the defensive out of Ohio State.
Wow.
Yeah. He's got a forced fumble, 3 interceptions, 3 pass deflections. This kid comes every game. He has one hell of a motor. And I think he's going to be playing on Sundays for a long time.
For sure. What about you, CJ?
And my top 3, it's like the NFL is turning like college football when you're passing the ball a lot and you need receivers. Judy, I think, is hands down
Judy?
just the best receiver in college. Maybe the best prospect since Julio Jones coming out.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
he's almost a mix of AJ Green, Julio Jones almost. Yeah.
I mean, he's not necessarily the tall guy, but he has speed. He runs his routes really good, and I think he's the best player in the draft. And after that, I have Chase Young, just huge athletic freak at the end. That everybody needs a pass rusher, and I also got Tua because somebody needs a quarterback. And I think he's just the best quarterback right now in the draft over Jake Fromm.
All right.
All right, so starting out, I have Justin Herbert. I think he'll go definitely in the first round. I think he'll be in the top 3. It looks like right now in Mel Kiper's draft board, I think he's going to Oakland, which I think that will be a great pick for them. Stay on the West Coast. But he's just crazy poised. Very poised. He's a senior. He's ready. We've seen a lot of these younger guys going into the NFL and not doing much until maybe their 4th or 5th year, and I think that's because they haven't been developed. Well, Herbert stayed at Oregon and been able to develop. He's a 6'6" senior. Definitely has the height of an NFL quarterback. 15 touchdowns right now, and tons more, in the years he's played. And I just think that's somebody great. All of the guys you mentioned, Chase Young, Jonathan Taylor was on my list. He's the most that looks like Saquon. We've seen Saquon play, and we think that he's very ready, to go. So definitely think that is, something. I could do a third one, but I agree with Jerry Jeudy. I agree with Jake Fromm.
Yeah.
Okudah, sorry. So, that being said, we're going to go into our quick picks. So, quick picks of the week. We will start out
If you need the paper, I got it for you. If you need some in front of you.
Yeah, I
to see.
got it on my phone, but my phone's being stupid right now.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. And then here's the ones.
Those in depth.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Florida State at number 2, Clemson. I like Florida State, but Clemson's coming off that ball, coming off, almost losing to North Carolina. Did they have a bye this week?
Yeah, they had a bye week.
I think they win. I'm obviously picking Clemson. If Florida State would hang, I don't think they will, but I think that they're on the up and up, even though it doesn't look like it. So,
I'm going Clemson. Yeah, I think it could be a little bit better of a game than people expect. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, after the way Clemson played, they actually might come out firing.
I think
we
want
it to be a game. Yeah.
I actually think Trevor Lawrence is going to come out firing. I think he gets over 300 passing yards.
Yeah. So you're going Clemson for
yeah.
Might do 400. I don't think it's gonna be close.
Clemson big. All right.
Clemson.
Whatever the spread is at the end of the week, I take.
all right, Maryland at Purdue. I think I'm going with Maryland on this one. But don't be shocked if Purdue sticks in this game without Rondale Moore and
Single.
in their quarterback. So I think Maryland wins this one, but they haven't proven enough. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
There are 2
Is
up
it
and
close?
downs.
They're 2.
It's at Purdue, so I think it is.
Yeah. Right.
It's gonna be rocking. I think it'll be closer than you think it will be.
Right.
No, I don't see it.
What you got, John?
I got Maryland blowing that one out too.
Yeah, I got
You
Maryland.
say that now?
I do say that now.
I got.
I'm
Maryland.
not sure if it's a blowout, but I'm going to take Maryland by 14.
No, that's what I say. At least 14.
And the
but it's not
spread
gonna be-
6.5.
But I'm saying the game's gonna be close. Like it's gonna be a good game to watch. It's not gonna be like
Purdue is Purdue, they had high expectations at the beginning of the year, but like the injuries are just stacking up against them.
But they beat Ohio State last year.
Okay.
But that was with a lot better of a quarterback. They had Rondale Moore. I feel like they had I don't know. The defense was still kind of bad, but
Yeah.
They
So
lost like their next
we're all
four
going with
games.
Maryland.
yeah,
We're all going there.
All right. So this next one is a crazy top 25 matchup. It's literally 1 versus 25. And since it's 1 versus 25, we're not going to talk about it in depth. Alabama at 25, Texas A&M.
So why did Alabama jump Clemson on a bye week for both?
No, they was number one last week too.
They were
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
because
Clemson
of
after they played
almost
really
losing
bad.
to
After
North Carolina.
after they lost North Carolina. Alabama.
That makes sense.
So I'm going with Roll Tide Roll. Do we need to talk in depth? No.
No.
Anybody on
yeah,
Bama?
I'm going
Bama.
Roll Tide.
I don't think Nick Saban ever lost after a bye week.
Yeah, he's insane.
So this is a good game.
Him and Urban Meyer are like the best coaches after a while.
So Michigan State at number 8 Wisconsin.
yeah, that's a good
Whew.
Tough for Michigan State.
Michigan
Back to
State
back.
needs to bounce back.
game. Yeah.
D'Antonio doesn't lose back to back much.
That Wisconsin defense is
But-
solid,
You know where I'm going. Bucky Badger all the way. On Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Taylor's going to be too much for that defense. They're going to wear him down. Give me Wisconsin.
I think we're about to see the same game we've seen Saturday night. I think it's going to be closer a little bit, but I think Wisconsin pulls away.
Michigan State's got to just stop, slow down. You know, I think they scored some good when they got poised, but they got to slow down.
I think by the end of the third quarter, everybody will be jumping around in Madison.
Ooh,
I
you think the players will be on the field like they were
For
against
sure,
Michigan?
for sure.
Relatively low scoring, but still a 14-point win.
Jonathan Taylor, bro. 5 touchdowns last week. He'll have 6 this week.
Shit.
I'm calling it.
Yeah, how many?
He had
Hit
5.
5 in the
Four
first
rushing, one-
first
Yeah,
half.
How many touchdowns he has this week, though? What do you call it? How many touchdowns?
He said 6.
No, he'll have maybe
Maybe
2. This Michigan State's
Yeah.
defense is going to be
You
better.
think?
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah,
what's the next
Mandatory
game?
drug test? No, I'm just kidding. Next game. Washington State at Arizona State.
Ooh, this
Number
is going to be a
20,
good game.
Arizona State. Thank you very much. I'm taking
Who are you taking, man?
who I picked for 2 weeks, and they haven't filled me yet. So do the rosary, Hail Mary, all that. You play to win the game.
Here we go.
I'm picking Herm Edwards, and now we're in the conference. Let's see what he can do in the conference. It's at home. Probably a night game. I'm going to Arizona State.
I think I'm going to have to go at...
It's a toss.
It's a
I know
toss.
it's a toss-up,
You
man.
never know what you're going to get from Arizona State.
Yeah.
You never know.
And you know Mike
think they
Leach.
doubled it
Mike
up.
Leach is pissed off at his team, so you know they're going to come
See,
ready
that's
to play
why
with
I
a good
think-
game plan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm nervous about is Mike Leach having an excellent
Gardner
game
lost.
plan.
Gardner Minshew
I
lost
got
this week,
Brendan
and
over
they're
here
gonna
saying yes, take Washington State.
take the coup.
I think
baby.
I'm gonna have to take
Coup.
Washington State.
And usually, when you went to Arizona State against Michigan State, I'm like, I'm with you. I'm with you on that, but I'm going with Washington State
You
this
just
week.
need more picks.
I'm
You
just-
need to separate yourself.
I'm taking Washington
You
State.
just know I'm in the lead.
John, what you got?
Washington State. We're going to get one over on Caleb.
Man, maybe I need to switch my picks over to Arizona State.
I think you should. Remember, we gave John one last week.
Well, I'll have
Yeah,
time.
you can't-
Well,
I'll
maybe
have
I'll
time
do it.
as long as you do make it known.
So,
So, would you pick Washington State? Or
Yeah, every
Well, all
time.
Washington State,
everyone
but
but you. Yeah.
All right, Cincinnati at Houston.
Ooh, man, this is gonna be a.
I can't do it, man.
Who you going?
I can't go to Houston. They had their players transfer or red shirt. It's a shit show.
They're playing actually decent. They've won.
But Cincinnati, man, beat UCF
Off the high.
off the
Yeah.
high.
Can
and
they
they're
come
gonna
back
stay
down
on.
and play Houston?
Roll, baby, roll.
Perfect.
I'm going with the Bearcats.
Perfect.
Logan, what you got?
Yeah, I think I'm going Cincinnati. I think I have to go Cincinnati.
I'm a real.
Luke Fickle, man.
I'm a real
Luke
Cincy.
Fickle.
I think Luke is a good enough coach to get him to calm down, and they're really trying to win the conference this year. I think they
Yeah.
get it. I'm no good Cincy. John?
Yeah, their only losses to Ohio State where they got shut out. But,
But
still,
It's
Ohio
up to
State's
end the
been
year
beating
to a
on
great
everybody.
team, yeah.
Houston's only 2-3. I'm going to go Cincinnati on that.
Okay.
Even at Houston.
All right. Next game is good. Texas Tech at Baylor.
Ooh,
I'm going Baylor, baby.
Baylor.
6-0.
Yeah, give me Baylor.
me
Matt
Baylor.
Rule. Matt
I
Rule's
took
a great
Baylor last
coach.
week. I'm going to take Baylor this week.
Matt Rule's a great
It's
coach.
at Baylor,
I really
too.
like
I'm going to
Baylor.
take Baylor.
They proved versus
Yeah,
Iowa
I
State
against them last week.
and TCU, right? They just beat TCU.
I think we
no,
all.
No, not TCU. Who they play last week?
There's only one pick's different so far out of
And
all
it's
these
been me,
games.
right?
Yeah.
It was
So
Arizona
I'm
State.
gonna be up by more again this week, so it's okay.
But your conference championships are bad, so
I
that's
would-
where it's going to go bad for
in
you.
my national championship, Iowa State at West Virginia. I kind of argued with John.
Take me home, West Virginia,
let me down.
Mountain Mama.
John.
He's going West
Sorry
Virginia.
about last week,
They
but
were-
this week
they were in it the whole
Who you
time.
taking?
they were in it the whole time.
Yeah, they played
against
great.
Texas.
Oh my God.
West Virginia,
Virginia.
Mountain Mama.
But hey, did you know that?
Virginia with the spread.
But that song wasn't made for West
I
Virginia.
know.
It was for people that
They
lived
missed the
in
spread
West
by half a
Virginia,
point.
like the
Yeah.
Virginia, like west side of Virginia.
But that's what became West Virginia.
No, but like
In
the actual
history, They
state.
seceded because they wanted to be
No, it-
different than.
It wasn't. It
Virginia
was the
known.
actual Virginia state,
What the
not
hell
West
are you guys
Virginia.
talking about?
Oh,
West
never
Virginia
mind.
was. All right, we'll get
Yeah.
into that
This is
another
a
time
history
on our
class.
history podcast.
It was.
I'm just kidding. USC and Notre Dame. We'll get Logan to talk about Notre Dame.
Wait, we haven't gotten through our.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, West Virginia picks.
I thought we were all picking West Virginia.
No, why would
Yeah,
we
I
all
did.
pick
I
West
didn't
You
Virginia?
pick West
You
Virginia?
take
John?
West Virginia?
I
Who you take?
I'm not taking West Virginia. I'm taking Iowa State.
Wow.
Cyclones, baby.
Yeah, give me the Cyclones.
Hey,
You rock my body like a psycho.
Yeah, you got to calm down on that because I'm also taking Iowa State.
Hey, Purdy. he's legit.
Well, I just figured I'd help you guys out this week, but apparently not.
So what we got next?
USC. Ba, da, 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 versus bum, 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 bum. Notre Dame. I'm taking Notre Dame in this one because I think it's a must-win for them, and it's at home, and it's a rivalry game. I don't care how bad USC is playing right now; they're up and down, but it's a rivalry game. They'll be in it, but Notre Dame has come to play this week. I know it was basically a bye week, but I don't think it was that high of a win. You know what I'm saying? They knew what they expected with Bowling Green. I'm taking Notre Dame.
John, who you got?
Still taking Notre Dame. I think it's gonna be closer than we think.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What are they, 2-3 USC is? Well, you said it's a must-win, but every game this whole rest of the season is a must-win now.
And half the
That's-
rest of
Have
the
to
games
be,
are old
like-
historical rivalries
If-
for you guys.
if
so-
JT
they got Michigan as pretty much the only
Game left.
difficult game,
The-
and then we got Stanford.
The
too.
last couple times USC has come to South Bend, Notre Dame's
they've blown them out.
they've blown them out.
Yeah.
And if JT Daniels was playing,
But
I
he's
think
not.
USC would be able to stay in it. But I think Notre Dame wins by at least double figures in this game.
I'm gonna go with the Fighting Irish too. I just don't think USC has enough to compete. Too up and down, like we said, all season long. So I'm gonna go with Notre Dame.
Okay, so our last pick for the quick picks, Washington at Arizona.
Khalil Tate, Washington just lost to Stanford.
But
Man.
Arizona just beat Colorado.
That's what I'm saying. Arizona's
Where's that
a
game
hot
at? Where's
team.
that
They're
game at?
4-1.
Pack is
It's
all
at Arizona.
flip-flopped and weird.
Hey,
Yeah.
I told you guys before.
I don't know who to go for.
Khalil Tate, your guy.
I like Khalil Tate. I told you guys that. But this is the thing. The trend in the Pac-12, you lose the game one week, you win the next. You win one week, you lose the next. So in that case, I'm going with Washington.
Logan,
Yeah, I'm going Washington.
Jacob Eason.
I'm going Washington too.
Do I need to say any more? Jacob Eason.
Yeah, I don't think Arizona can do it. But I mean, Washington let me down last week too. It's just
Yeah, I don't think Chris Peterson lets his team lose two in a row.
All right. So, that being said, before we go into our in-depth picks, we have somebody here, a very special guest, here to talk about some of the bets and some of the lines. And our friend Brendan McCormick is here to talk about that. Brendan?
Yes. Just some of the lines I like in college football for week 6 or week 7. I mean.
Yep.
I mean, not all of them are out right now. I'll actually be at the Oklahoma and Texas game. I'll actually be in Dallas for that game. I actually like the Longhorns. I think Sam Ehlinger is a pretty legit quarterback. I'm not a firm believer and Jalen Hurts of running an offense, to be honest, and I actually think he'll be a terrible NFL quarterback. That's my hot take with that. I do like Purdue against Maryland, and here's why. Purdue's 1-4. They haven't played well this season, but Maryland, they look awful the past 2 weeks. I mean, they've gotten blown out. They beat a Rutgers team, but they lost 59-0 against Penn State. So that's why I really like Purdue. I just feel like a revenge angle for a little bit Purdue to try to prove themselves in the Big Ten. And I actually like whatever that Clemson line is, I would actually put some money on that. Florida State's awful. I just think they're a terrible football team. I think they're one of the worst teams in the ACCs.
They were like 110 in FBS last year.
Yeah, so I really like whatever that Clemson line is. I see that a line for that Arizona State. They're favored by 2.5.
Oh, take it.
Last year I made a lot of money off Washington State and the overs, so I would actually bet that Washington State beats Arizona State, and I would bet the over. And I see that the Alabama line is at -18. I would hop on that as a favorite against Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jimbo Fisher's team isn't that good. They've struggled throughout the season. In fact, they almost got beat against an Arkansas team last week that I watched. That game's always close. If I were to actually bet that game, I would have actually taken Arkansas because they had a +23 spread. There was no way Texas A&M would have covered that at all. Those are just some of the spreads that I like this week. Like I said, I mean, you just got to be very specific about the lines that you pick. I was actually born in Tucson, Arizona, so I tracked Arizona football team pretty hard. I think their quarterback is terrible. I can't wait till he graduates and they can finally put someone in there new. I'm all over Washington at -6.5.
So you really like the Pac-12?
I actually follow the Pac-12 very hard. I've made a lot of money.
Are they good
off
for
that.
money? Are they good for money?
Are they profitable? Yes. I think the Pac-12 is one of the easiest conferences to make money on.
The Pac-12 after dark games.
Yeah, because no one watches them because they're all in bed on the East Coast, and so I'm up at 10:30 or 11 watching Boise State, Hawaii, and Washington State, and all these other teams. I think one of the hardest conferences is really the Big 12. Big 12 can go either way. I actually really love that an Iowa State team, and I really like Texas out of the Big 12. I really believe in Sam Ehlinger as a quarterback. I really do.
So if you're picking one team, other than Bama and Clemson, to cover every week, what team would you pick?
Oh, Ohio State.
Ohio State all the way?
To me, I think they cover every game. I think they're in FU mode. I think Justin Fields and Dobbins are literally trying to prove to the nation that they can beat Bama and Clemson, and I don't think they're going to stop with any team in their way, whether that's some Nebraska team that is terrible, and I knew they were going to run through them. I think they won that game maybe 63-7.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad. I don't know the final score.
Yeah,
but
it was like 30-something to 0.
I mean, that's one of the most profitable teams. I mean, you can't fade them at all. And I really actually like SMU. SMU came back last week. They were down, I forget whether it was 2 touchdowns or 3, and they won in triple overtime against a Tulsa team. SMU's in Dallas, so I follow the teams that I like, different cities and where I was born from and different things like that. But I'm very picky about the lines that I pick, and that's just my advice to the listeners and things like that, is not to bet every game, but to bet the things that you like and go with your gut. I mean, that's how you make money in sports betting, is basically go with your gut, and bet with I mean, I follow sports writers and different things like that. I follow different bettors on Twitter. Honestly, lately I've debated on putting my picks out there through Twitter, so I might do that for the listeners if they really, want to track.
And what you're saying, you can't be afraid to lose money.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be afraid to lose money. I mean, but don't obviously bet something you can't afford. So I don't want anyone losing their house, their car, or something like that.
It should be a fun thing to do. Yeah.
It should be a fun thing you can do on the side, and I think it can be very profitable. I mean, sports betting has allowed me to basically go all over the world. It's allowed me to go see the Chiefs and Colts games, right next to season ticket holders. I bought tickets for that. It's allowed me to see the Texas and Oklahoma game
This next week.
week in Section 30, seat 33.
He's stunting on him. He's calling out seats. Stunting on us over here.
So if you
I love it.
Yeah, so I'm all about, helping people make money. I mean, you the viewers are clients, and I always help, people make money. But sports gambling it's very hard, I guess
Yes.
I should say, is you can't bet the teams that you like. I mean, I made a lot of money off the Ohio State spread against IU. I'm a big Indiana Hoosiers fan, whether it's football or basketball. Sadly, it's
But
obviously
money's money.
exactly money's money. And actually, I actually would have taken the Chiefs spread at -11 and the under in that game, and they're already up a field goal. I just thought, Patrick Mahomes against that Colts team is a lot better. So you just got to look at different, lines around, NFL and college football especially. But I made the most on college football by really looking at lines. And Gardner Minshew, shout out, has won me a lot of money. So I'm a big, firm believer in Mike Leach and that offense. And I actually think they roll whoever they play this week. I forgot.
Arizona State.
Arizona State, yeah. That's who it was.
Well, thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And for sure, something I think we can do now that we have a team membership kind of with you now,
Yeah.
partnership, we'll be able to tweet some of if you put your picks out there
Yeah.
with lines, we'll be able to tweet that, and maybe I can screenshot that and put it on Facebook as well. For you guys, we want to always be involved, and I say it every single week, is we want to do what we can do to be better and go from there. So as MJ said, the ceiling's the roof. No, I'm just kidding. But no, for sure. Thanks, bro. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for being around and being able to just chill and hang out and listen. Well, we're not done yet. We have our in-depth picks of the week. And I'm sorry earlier, I went to the Notre Dame USC game. We're still going to go in depth on that game because we know it's something that we need to go in depth on. So I'm glad you guys stayed with the quick picks, though, so we could get that done. But first, Oklahoma versus Texas.
Now he doesn't like Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts. He's throwing 14 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Again, hasn't played anybody.
Yep.
But so was half the other teams, Alabama included. So he's also their leading rusher
Correct.
with over 500 yards.
Yeah.
So he's that dual threat. He's that, I think, more of a Robert Griffin III type vibe coming from him.
Right.
But like we like to talk about, he has a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
From having to
He's
transfer.
the
to
I
that
think he
job.
wants to, whether it's college football playoff or even New Year's Six game, he wants Alabama.
Right.
He
Now,
wants them.
their defense isn't great, but it's okay if he's on the field that often. It's fine.
Right.
So they're definitely a team to always go over on too.
Yeah, that Oklahoma's defense is really gonna have to show up this Saturday if they
I
want to
agree.
win.
And with
That's what worries me.
yeah, and they say they're showing improvements and trying to improve in practice instead of getting more turnovers. But
It's going to be a shootout.
I think,
Yeah, so-
and I also think Jalen Hurts leading the team in rushing also could. It's not really a great thing to have a curve as your leading rusher, because I also don't think they have enough weapons around him when
Right.
they play at Alabama or Clemson.
They got CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, they got one
He's
guy.
Fast.
But when you're facing an Alabama defense who has good DBs and have safeties over the top,
Right.
it's always going to be open for the big play.
But I
don't
feel
know.
like something just tells me Jalen Hurts would find some kind of way to win. Somehow, some way,
like
he'd find a way to
special
win.
thoughts.
And I get a
But we're
vibe.
not talking about Alabama.
We're talking
No,
about
just-
We're talking about somebody I think is going to go farther than Bama, and that's the Texas Longhorns. Sam Ellinger all the way, baby.
Yep.
That's all I got to say.
All right.
This offense is getting better every
it is.
week.
I'm still
Every
taking Oklahoma to win
week.
that game.
I know you're going to take Oklahoma. But what I'm trying to tell you is,
Ellinger and Hurts have almost the same identical stats when
They
it comes
do.
to touchdowns.
and it was a
passing yards.
shootout with LSU, who I think
The bet would
my
be the
mind,
over in that game.
LSU,
That would be the over.
LSU is a better team than Oklahoma right now.
Yes.
And
yes.
Texas barely lost. They have a chip on their
They
shoulder.
had a basket touchdown
So
right there. That he
I think there's a bigger chip this game for Sam Ellinger and Texas, because Jalen Hurts is not playing Alabama. He's playing Texas, and it's a rivalry game he's never been a part of. I don't care about the Iron Bowl right now. He's never been a part of the Red River rivalry, and it's going to be a bang-bang, shoot-'em-up, Wild West, like they call me, game. I'm taking Texas.
John?
Who are you taking, John?
Oklahoma.
You taking Oklahoma, John?
Logan, who are you taking?
After all that was said, I think Jalen Hurts makes a few plays down the stretch to give Oklahoma the win.
And I love Jalen Hurts and what he's doing at Oklahoma. I really think he's pushing his teammates to be great.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You know, he's working out after games, lifting game, working, showing them, hey, this is what we gotta do to win.
He's a leader.
Like,
Yeah.
this is
Every
what I
time
did
he
at
talks, he talks
Alabama.
about the team. We gotta
Exactly.
Get
We
that.
have to
I think he brings that Alabama vibe. He's like,
He
hey,
does.
this is what we did day in and day out.
But guess what? He's not Alabama.
Right, yeah.
Hook him. I got
Player.
Texas on Saturday.
Okay, cool.
That's fine. Do whatever you need.
All right.
You're
All
like,
right,
you're
the
last pick, right?
next game we got up for the in-depth picks.
It's you two.
We're going to go Notre Dame, USC.
Yep.
Let's go back over it.
All right, yeah. We didn't really go that far in depth of it. Yeah, so I think the key stats and things that Notre Dame needs to do for a win will be Ian Book needs to have a good game. He needs to be able to facilitate the ball to his playmakers with Chase Claypool and Baby Gronk.
Most importantly, take care of the ball.
Yeah,
No
he cannot turn
turnovers.
over. The only way
That'll be
USC stays around is if Notre Dame.
I don't care if he
turns
gets
the ball
one
over.
touchdown, one throwing touchdown, but I just want to see zero
exactly.
interceptions.
I think Tony Jones Jr. He's had 200-yard rushing games. I think he needs to keep that up. We need Jafar Armstrong back though.
Yeah, we don't have a dominant back like we did.
I think in 2 weeks he'll be back from Michigan.
Right.
But yeah, it would be nice to have him. And I also think the defense. I think the defensive line's going to eat like they did 2 years ago in South Bend. I think the defensive line's going to be one of
8
the
sacks, hopefully.
Yeah, the defensive line's going to get to that quarterback and probably make him throw earlier than he wants to into some pretty tight windows. And our secondary probably 2 interceptions, I want to say.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
What do you got, CJ? What do you got on USC?
As far as USC's been so up and down, we know this all season. He's losing quarterbacks, you know.
Is Keaton Slovis playing? I don't
Yes,
even
he
know.
is.
He's playing. Okay.
He's playing this week.
That's
But
big for them.
yes, but I think for USC to win this game, they have to turn it into a dogfight.
Yeah, for
All right, they have to get scrappy, get some turnovers, and create some running. Be like a running team. All right, control the clock. All right, have a good tempo, and keep Ian Book off the field. All right, because they can put up 30+ points. You can't.
Yeah.
All right, rely on your defense to make plays, and you have to win special teams. I think that's the biggest thing for USC right now. Maybe get a touchdown on a punt, get return for you to have a chance this week.
So if you're Clay Helton, you're pretty much watching the game from last year where it was like a 2014 type game where it was a low scoring USC stayed in it. Something like that where USC, they just got to keep that score low. Keep running the ball. What do you hike the ball at like 5 seconds?
Yeah,
Just kind of like.
just be smart about it.
Yeah.
Clock management and just at the end of the day, and I think we all seen Ian Book has got a lot better since last year, but you still have to make him beat you in the air.
Which he still has trouble throwing it down.
Exactly.
downfield.
Make him beat you in the air. Make him throw for 300+ yards to beat you.
I think he's at his best when he's picking apart his zone. And
Yes,
now when
exactly,
they're trying to
yeah.
rely on building a two-way run just to try and open it up when they don't need to. They're forcing the run too much.
Yeah.
So if they just let him go a little bit, I think.
I think-
Well, that goes along with Chip Long's offense. He's a spread offensive coordinator, but he loves to establish the run. He's almost a run first spread offensive coordinator, which it's crazy to say because it's like you're running spread, but you're worried about the run more than you are pass.
It's a lot of draws.
Yeah,
And make him. And if USC defense can keep him doing one thing good and not maybe run and pass the ball, but if he can stop the run and make him get in passing situations, so you know what they know about to do, make him do that. You don't have a chance.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm taking the Irish double digits. Yeah.
I'm gonna take Notre Dame at the end of the day too.
Absolutely.
Notre
Yeah,
Dame.
Notre
I
Dame
think we
overall
already
won.
Yeah, we already
in our
won.
picks.
Okay.
All right, next game, Penn State versus Iowa.
John, go ahead and go first on this.
I got
'cause that's
Penn
your
State.
team.
That's my team
Yeah,
this year.
Penn
I
State.
went bold and I picked Penn State to win the Big Ten.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought without Urban Meyer, Ohio State would slip. I knew Michigan was going to slip. Their
It's not a
quarterback's
bad
terrible.
prediction.
Right. Yeah. I get where you're coming
So
from.
far, I'm looking pretty solid, except for Ohio State's also kicking everybody
Yeah,
out.
and wait, do they get Ohio State at home this year?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
huge if
Yes,
they get Ohio
do.
State at home.
They got,
We
they got that.
are
They've also
Penn
got to play
State.
Wisconsin.
Whoa,
They've got to play
wait,
Iowa this week.
Wait, time out. If they get Ohio State at home,
Whoa.
which game are they going to do the whiteout for? Michigan or Ohio
It's
State?
Hopefully,
already announced. It's already
Ohio
announced
State.
that Michigan will be the whiteout game.
Michigan.
But why don't they do both?
Yeah,
like
that's
Rachel.
right. I want both.
No.
Oh,
Why not?
whoa,
Why
it
not?
doesn't. Hey, it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
And I see that
So-
Penn
so
State
what's
will
your-
be 30.
What's your
What's your
index?
keys to victory? What's your
They also got to create turnovers for the Iowa offense, who looked terrible against Michigan.
yeah?
Their defense and pretty much all over the board, they're fast, young, and athletic. And their quarterback Sam Clifford, he's not bad. He's shown out pretty well.
I
this year.
really like the Penn
He's 12 and
State
2 on
linebackers.
TD interceptions. They're doing a running back by committee, sort of.
Yeah.
By 4 or 5 different backs right now.
Right.
But they're getting the ball down the field pretty well. The big thing is going to be red zone touchdowns. You're gonna
Two
need to
letters
convert
and one
all of them.
word. KJ Hamler. He's a beast, man, and he's been taking them to
Yes.
victory, and he's making that dude's not looking bad. Is it Sam Clifford?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Not looking bad, but makes him look good. KJ Hamler.
What you got, Logan?
All right. Well, the only way that Iowa's going to win this ball game is kind of like USC. They're going to have to limit offensive possessions, run the ball, run down that clock, because Penn State can put up 30 to 40
they can
points.
put up
Iowa
numbers,
cannot.
yeah.
The only way Iowa wins this game if it's 20-17 type, where it's like last week, where they force turnovers. They gotta limit their turnovers. If AJ Espinosa comes to play, I think he's gonna need about 2-3 sacks, a forced fumble. They're gonna have to do something to give Iowa's offense
They've got him
an
in the top 10.
advantage.
Does Iowa's secondary shut down
Sam
the wide
Clifford?
receivers?
No,
Like-
I think KJ Hamler's too explosive.
It's too explosive,
guys
and he's too
quick.
experienced. Too.
Yeah,
Right.
the thing with Michigan receivers, they were big. They weren't necessarily explosive and small and shifty, which
When I think Michigan didn't
Penn
take
State
chances
can.
down the field like
Yeah.
they should have.
But and when
And
they
we'll-
did
we'll
take a
limit
chance,
that.
but when they did take
Oh.
a chance, it was a
It was-
40-plus
it
yard
was
pass to Nico
40+
Collins.
But yeah, I'm going Penn State.
I'm going Penn State.
So we're all on pins. Hold
You're
hold
digging-
on.
you're digging yourself-
Hold on. Hey, you guys think I'm just picking games to catch back up? I'm not.
no, why would
I
you be
believe-
a strike away?
I know.
You got
I
Penn State.
totally believe Penn State is overlooking this team.
They might.
Yeah,
They
they
are
got
looking
Michigan
ahead
after.
to Michigan in the whiteout.
So you think they'll lose 2 in a row?
It's a dog fight. It's going to be a dog fight. It's at Iowa, right?
Yeah,
It's a win.
I think Iowa.
It's at Iowa.
And this is a game they always win.
Yeah, Iowa always.
Give the
finds-
Hawkeyes.
I almost went. You're
Flip,
right. They
I'm
always
flipping
find.
it. I'm flipping it.
They
I'm going
always-
with the Hawkeyes.
They
We
always-
let John last week. This is my one
I
flip of the week.
almost.
I'm going with the
I almost do a
Hawkeyes.
flip here because Iowa always finds a way to win those.
And they don't lose 2 games in a row. That's rare for Kirk Ferentz. Might be one of the best coaches Big Ten seen.
Damn
in a
it!
while.
Yeah, you know Iowa's.
I'm taking
gonna-
Iowa.
What the hell is going on?
You flipped to Florida last week. I'm flipping to
Ah,
Iowa this
jeez.
week.
Yeah, go for it. I think you're going to lose.
John, wait, Logan, who
It's
you
at
taking?
Iowa.
I don't know. I got to do a little more research on it.
But right now
Yeah,
you're
but
taking Penn State.
Right now I'm taking Penn
Okay.
State, but I liked what you said. That almost got me. The Iowa wins this kind of game every year.
7:30
One of these
kickoff.
guys-
7:30 kickoff.
My
At
goodness.
home.
Spooky.
It's at Iowa.
It's at Iowa.
It's
It's
at
at
Iowa.
Iowa.
It's at Iowa.
Spooky, spooky
I have that written down.
picks.
Yeah, okay.
Logan, tell them.
Next
Spooky
game.
what?
All right, next
Spooky
game we're
sexy.
going in depth with is the Florida LSU game. We're gonna have CJ and Caleb break down this game. Caleb, you got Florida. What do you got to say about them?
All I gotta say is, Dan Mullen has these boys ready to play. They win a game at home. They prove that they can make it. But you know what Florida reminds me of, and what Dan Mullen reminds me of? A lot about the boys from East Lansing. When they had those seasons where they made it to the Big Ten Championship, nobody believed them. And like I said last week, Dan Mullen's going to have your boys saying, look, you won at home. Who gives a shit? Now we got to go to the road into Death Valley. Let's do this. Full out, balls to the wall. We're doing this shit, and I think we do it right. Gator chomp. That's all I got to say. I don't have to say anything else. That's why I believe Florida. They have more to prove than LSU does. LSU already beat a good Texas team. Auburn, we don't know where they're at right now. So I think,
Ooh, Tigers.
You got Florida?
yeah,
He's
because
got
we got Tim Tebow
And that's your
side by
playoff
side.
pick.
It's our playoff pick, and I think they roll through. They're shocking everybody. They're shocking everybody.
I'm talking to nobody.
Okay.
Yeah, you
All right.
couldn't even-
Speaking of that, like LSU, I think honestly, coming off that Auburn win, they're on a high. I got LSU in a blowout.
You always got blowouts.
Blowout.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow is making a
You're the one who
statement.
wanted to
He's
talk
legit.
about Joe Burrow.
Wait,
He's
making a
legit.
statement. You don't walk out the field and be like, maybe this dude will win the Heisman this year.
Maybe.
I got him throwing 4 touchdown passes Saturday
But
night.
can this be a game just
I
like
overlooked it.
Oklahoma struggled
Same.
with Kansas this week? Could it be a game that proves that
I think Florida has to
That-
come out and punch him in the
that
mouth.
Joe Burrow isn't? Could this be a slip-up game?
No.
No.
Ain't no slipping up by 7:30 kickoff
Not a
night
top
game
10
against
matchup.
Florida.
He's on revenge mode.
Yeah, but
He's
that's
on
the
revenge.
biggest
With
time
that,
to
with
slip
that,
up.
I said, episode 1, I said this is a year LSU would turn around and then making the Final Four. That defense is good. They got that offense clicking on ceilings.
They're trying to kill
I
him.
love how they pinned us against each other because our picks are pretty similar. Other than Florida, LSU, those are our 2 SEC teams that we went back and forth. Both have Texas, both have Clemson, both have Michigan. Well, Michigan. Ugh. But no, I love that they pinned us against each other. No, I think it'll be a great game.
Alright.
We try to watch it together.
Yeah, for
All right,
sure.
let's do it. Well, thank you everybody.
Wait, I didn't get to take my pick.
I'm just messing.
We don't
Why
care.
do you keep trying to?
Because I don't care what
We
you
don't
do
care about
right
your
now.
pick.
Who you
Yeah.
got, Logan?
I'm going LSU.
Just
At Florida.
John, who you got?
Florida starts with
LSU.
an F, so
So everybody got
I got
LSU?
Burrow,
Yeah.
LSU.
Yeah, and
The boys.
unfortunately, I won't be able to watch the
The
game.
boys in the bayou.
I'll be at a wedding.
Oh.
but enjoy.
I can't watch the game. I'll be at a wedding.
Jeez.
Sorry, I'll be watching.
They're
the
getting
game.
married.
Was that a winning?
That's pretty funny. All right. Well, thank you for listening to the Hustle Podcast. Caleb Westra, CJ Hester, Logan Smith, John Hope, and Brendan McCormick.
Hey.
Thank you guys.
Our
See you
debate.
next week.